Chapter 66, War breaks out again. Although I can't cultivate, perhaps Weiwei can. Jiang Fan had a sudden thought, unable to hold back such an idea from surfacing. To be honest, he had long suspected that Su Weiwei had a special constitution. She obviously hadn't cultivated any technique, yet she could endure his training. Her constitution even seemed to increase day by day. So it's no surprise if Su Weiwei possesses a spirit root. It's just unclear what kind of spirit root she'll have. And once Su Weiwei can cultivate, it would mean she has the power of self-defense. That way, he could rest assured about Su Weiwei's safety. Well, never mind, this isn't urgent. Let's first test the effects of the blood ginseng pill. Jiang Fan took a deep breath, took out a blood ginseng pill, the size of a thumb, completely blood red and crystal clear, exuding a rich medicinal aroma, almost intoxicatingly fragrant. Without a second thought, he swallowed it in one gulp and then performed the soaring snake breathing technique. Rumble tilde tilde. In an instant, Jiang Fan stood still, his entire body seemingly transformed into a soaring snake, absorbing the mysterious matter between heaven and earth, which astonishingly enhanced his body's ability to digest. It was as if his stomach at that moment was a furnace capable of digesting everything. The moment the blood ginseng pill entered his stomach, it was completely digested and transformed into a massive amount of mysterious matter. It flowed into every corner of his body like a warm current. As he cultivated the soaring snake breathing technique, every bone in his body absorbed the rich medicinal power of the blood ginseng pill. This allowed the bones to be thoroughly tempered. Faintly, the impurities in each bone were continuously cleared away, becoming as clear as white jade, crystal clear. The density of each bone was also significantly enhanced. Comfortable. Jiang Fan felt his body warm, as if soaking in a hot spring. The medicinal power contained in just one blood ginseng pill was simply vast, incomparable to the tiger and leopard pill from before. The medicinal power in this one blood ginseng pill alone could save him a lot of time in arduous cultivation. He sensed that his progress in the bone-forging realm was steadily rising. Continuing in this way, perhaps he wouldn't need 700 luck points to advance to the refining organ realm. An hour later, Jiang Fan finally stopped cultivating, instantly absorbing the airflow around him into his body, making it a part of himself, having devoured most of the medicinal power of this blood ginseng pill. He sensed that his physical strength had increased by at least several hundred pounds compared to before. Even his 5 senses had significantly enhanced. He was getting closer and closer to the refining organ realm. Several days later, Jiang Fan and Su Weiwei had thoroughly settled down in Yun City. They even started becoming familiar with their neighbors. One household sold tofu, the Su De family, consisting of 5 people who worked from dawn till dark to make tofu. Another household was a blacksmith, the Zhang family, who were generations of iron workers, a family of 7. There was also the Dr. Kong Wen's family, a family of 6 who ran a pharmacy on the street, and so on. In short, everyone who lived on this street had a skill, and their families had lived in Yun City for generations. People without a skill couldn't survive in Yun City. Of course, Jiang Fan just had a nodding acquaintance with them, just becoming familiar, exchanging greetings. After all, he had no plans to form deep connections with them. Meanwhile, Su Weiwei also began cultivating the cyan wood formula. But for now, there were no results, not even entering the beginner stage. However, Jiang Fan thought this was only natural. Because this is the mortal world, and compared to the cultivation realm, the heaven and earth spiritual qi was too scarce. Trying to become a beginner in the mortal world would undoubtedly consume more time and energy. It wouldn't be possible to enter the beginner stage so quickly. Moreover, he just wanted to try it out, so he had plenty of patience and wasn't in a hurry. Originally, Jiang Fan thought he could live peacefully in Yun City, but an unexpected piece of news spread like a whirlwind throughout Yun City. Have you heard? General Muten is severely injured, close to death. All the doctors in the city have been summoned to treat General Muten. The situation doesn't seem optimistic. Someone whispered, sharing the startling news. Impossible, wasn't it said that General Muten won and defeated the Red Eyebrow Army leader Chen Yiachuan? How could such a thing happen in the blink of an eye? On the surface that's true, but in fact, both sides were severely injured, and General Muten is much older, with injuries undoubtedly more severe, almost incurable. If that's the case, once Red Eyebrow Army leader Chen Yachuan recovers, won't they make a comeback? Of course, otherwise, why would the government be so anxious, eager to eliminate the Red Eyebrow Army immediately? It's because they fear the Red Eyebrow Army's resurgence. At that time, Yun City might not be able to hold on. Damn it, how long has it been peaceful, and now the war arises again? The crowd discussed, their expressions grave. Originally, the government wanted to cover up General Mutin's injury, but there's no airtight wall under the sky. Especially with some people intent on spreading this news to shake the army's morale. So good news doesn't go out, but bad news spreads far and wide. In the blink of an eye, the news reached every household in Yun City, causing unrest. Many people felt uneasy. If General Mutin died, it was unclear if the entire Yun City could withstand the Red Eyebrow Army's advance. The previously peaceful Yun City seemed to start becoming turbulent again. Is war about to break out again? Jiang Fan squinted his eyes. However, he had long anticipated such matters, or he wouldn't have moved to Yun City. In fact, even if General Mutin hadn't died, as long as the situation of the Wei Kingdom's upper echelons exploiting the common people remained unchanged, rebels would continue to rise. If Chen Yachuan died, others would take his place. Eventually, it would continue until the dynasty was replaced. This situation is irreversible. After all, expecting noble families and royal descendants to conduct self-revolution is impossible. Purely wishful thinking. Profits are made through battles, not negotiations. However, he thought it unlikely that both sides would fight in the short term. Because the Red Eyebrow Army leader Chen Yachuan must also have been injured. Even if he recovers, it wouldn't happen within a month or two. So he felt staying in Yun City was relatively safe. Once his strength increased further, even if the Red Eyebrow Army invaded Yun City, he wouldn't worry, as he would have gained the power to protect himself. But it seems there are some rats watching around the house. It's time to deal with them. Jiang Fan squinted his eyes. In fact, these days he noticed several hooligans eyeing his house with malicious intent. Though he didn't know why they were targeting him, he never showed mercy to such malicious thugs. Chapter 67, Eliminating Future Troubles. Late at night, outside Yun City, a house. This is where Sun Yeyang and his gang reside. At this moment, there are 5 agile young men in the room, each with a fierce glint in their eyes. Son, according to your instructions, we have been watching that young couple from out of town all day. They have stayed at home these past few days and haven't gone anywhere else. They don't seem to have any relatives in Yun City. Probably not any high-ranking officials or nobles, no significant status. This job is worth doing, a bald man said excitedly. He had been observing the young couple for several days, believing they are definitely a prime target. The couple, having come from elsewhere, surely brought all their belongings with them. If they pull off this job, they won't have to worry for years. Moreover, with General Mutin critically ill, the city is in great turmoil. The government is too occupied to deal with other matters. Taking advantage of such circumstances, they could make a big score. And they wouldn't have to worry about any consequences. But that guy seems to be a martial artist who knows what he's capable of. Sun Yeyang was tempted but spoke cautiously. After all, if the opponent is a strong martial artist, they might end up failing miserably. They need to discern who they can provoke and who they can't. Don't worry, that guy looks ordinary, surely not much of a threat. Even if he's a martial artist, so what? Son, you're a refining flesh realm martial artist. Although our skills are a bit lacking, we're at least skin-tempering realm martial artists. And we have strength in numbers. With a calculated plan, no matter how strong he is, he won't be our match. The other 4 discussed, agreeing this could be done. After all, they've done things like this countless times. Complete one job, and they won't have to work for a long time. Though they're members of the money gang, they're just underlings, unable to make much money. The bulk goes to those elders. If they don't seize the opportunity to earn some extra cash, how could they ever enjoy life in Huaman building? If that's the case, then there's nothing more to say. Let's prepare. Tomorrow night, we go to that household and make a big haul. Sun Yeyang finally made up his mind. He felt he was being overly cautious, especially with their numerical advantage. No matter how strong that guy was, he couldn't possibly match them. Just then they suddenly sensed something strange. What's going on? Why do I suddenly feel dizzy? Impossible, maybe we drank too much just now. What a joke, I can hold my liquor. A few pots of wine can't possibly affect me. The hoodlums swore and cursed. But even Sun Yang felt dizzy. This feeling was unprecedented, as if they were caught in an enchanting smoke spell. Swish! A figure suddenly appeared in the room, in front of Sun Yang and his gang. The newcomer was Jiang Fan. He had just used the Su Zui King Feng smoke from cow's poison scripture, originally used for seduction. Colorless and tasteless, invisible and formless. Once used, anyone who inhales it will fall unconscious in 5 breaths. Dealing with these hoodlums wouldn't normally require such an extravagant tool. But having just arrived in Yun City, he was unfamiliar with the place. To avoid any accidents, he chose to use such a powerful solution. Moreover, he wanted to test if the enchanting smoke was as effective as described, treating it as an experiment. You're that Jiang Fan. Why did you come to my place? Sun Yang was stunned to see Jiang Fan appear, thinking he was hallucinating. He had never shown himself to the other party, so why had Jiang Fan come suddenly? What was going on? For a moment he felt uneasy, as Jiang Fan clearly had ill intentions. Still asking why. You know perfectly well, having someone watch my house for days, do you think I wouldn't know? Jiang Fan looked at Sun Yang calmly, with a faint killing intent in his eyes. What do you want to do? Don't act recklessly. I'm a member of the money gang. If I die, you won't get away unscathed either. This is Yun City, don't think you can run wild here. Sun Yang, terrified, tried to rely on the money gang's reputation to intimidate Jiang Fan. He initially wanted to fight back, even shout for help. But he realized, after being hit by the enchanting smoke, he had already lost most of his consciousness. Moreover, his whole body felt as if numb, barely able to move. His martial abilities were completely ineffective. This was the power of the Su Zui King Feng smoke. It's also the essential tool for a flower thief, as once women are affected by this smoke, they fall into a deep slumber, unable to move or cry out even with conscious will. Noisy. Jiang Fan glanced sideways, slashing his sword with a flick, the sword light flashing. Thud. Instantly, Sun Yang's chest was pierced through. The other 4 hoodlums met the same fate, each pierced through the chest by Cheng Ying's sword. Blood flowed freely. They felt intense pain spreading rapidly throughout their bodies. Their consciousness gradually sank into endless darkness. Sun Yang and the others were dead. Without any struggle, Jiang Fan killed them with a single stroke of his sword effortlessly. Dare to provoke me, then you must die. Jiang Fan's expression was cold, his killing intent subdued. Such things no longer stirred any emotional response from him, he was long accustomed. In such chaotic times, it's either you or me. He attacked proactively, assassinating Sun Yang and his gang because they brought major trouble. Though they were weak, they still belonged to the money gang. If confronted openly and others found out, the money gang might target him. Deal with the small ones, and the bigger ones would come endless troubles. Thus, it was better to take initiative and nip trouble in the bud. Once Sun Yang and his gang were dead, no trouble would come to him, eliminating disasters effectively. Boom tilde tilde. With that thought, Jiang Fan quickly transported their corpses into the house's courtyard, placing them on the soil, and used the corpse-dissolving water to destroy evidence. Before long, Sun Yang and the others' remains turned into a pool of blood, disappearing into the ground. He then searched the house and found 670 taels of silver. While not a large sum for him, it wasn't insignificant either. It could completely cover his expenses in Yun City. It was as if those hoodlums paid for his expenses. Soon, Jiang Fan's presence vanished from the place, as if he had never been there. Chapter 68. Chapter 68. Promotion to Refining Organ Realm Disguise Technique Great Success. It didn't take long for Jiang Fan to quickly return home. Nothing unexpected happened along the way. After all, taking advantage of the cover of night, everyone around was already asleep. Moreover, with the power of the soaring snake technique, he could conceal his aura, reducing his presence. In this way, it was almost impossible for others to notice him. He had just returned home. At this moment, a message immediately came from the depths of Jiang Fan's consciousness. You eliminated Sun Yang of the money gang and others ahead of time, avoiding a catastrophe, and gained 300 luck points. What? Perceiving this message, Jiang Fan blinked. Although he didn't gain any opportunities this time, after all, not every time you overcome a catastrophe will you gain opportunities. But a full 300 luck points could be considered a big harvest. It's not every time you overcome a deadly threat that you gain so many luck points. The amount of luck points is actually closely related to the severity of the threat. The more dangerous the situation, the more luck points gained after overcoming it. This also represented just how dangerous Sun Yang and his people were. If he had ignored it, it would have brought him a huge catastrophe in the future. So it was undoubtedly the right choice to nip it in the bud. There's a chance that if you beat the small ones, the big ones might come. Trouble would also come one after another. Now that Sun Yang and the others are dead, it means the trouble has completely ended. Even if the money gang wanted to investigate their deaths, it's probably impossible to find out. Not bad, gaining 300 luck points. Combined with the previous luck points, 860 in total. Such a large number of luck points is more than enough for me to advance to the refining organ realm. Jiang Fan squeezed his fists, feeling very excited. After all, the luck points needed for him to advance to the refining organ realm was only 700. Now it was more than enough. Along with the blood ginseng pill he took earlier, his cultivation improved greatly. So the needed luck points are even less. Undoubtedly, Sun Yang and his people were simply his lucky stars. If these guys hadn't appeared, he wouldn't have advanced to the refining organ realm so quickly. Once he becomes a martial artist in the refining organ realm, even in Yun City, he would have the power to protect himself. Because recently, even in Yun City, it has become increasingly dangerous. Just the power of the bone-forging realm is not enough to protect him and his wife. He still wants stronger power and combat strength, so he can feel at ease. Bring it on. Jiang Fan came to a room. He didn't hesitate and directly consumed luck points to enhance his cultivation. In an instant, 550 luck points were used up, leaving him with 310 luck points. Boom tilde tilde. A mysterious energy instantly permeated his entire body, soaking into every corner like a hot spring. At this moment, every bone in his body was thoroughly refined and evolved into flawless jade bones, with an incredible increase in bone density. Thud. The next second, this mysterious energy penetrated into his internal organs, fully refining and strengthening his heart, lungs, kidneys, and other areas. Refining organ realm. Undoubtedly, having received the enlightenment of mysterious energy, Jiang Fan stepped almost perfectly into the level of the refining organ realm. He perceived his internal organs to be incredibly strong. His heart was pounding strongly, like a rushing yellow river, circulating through every blood vessel in the body, with blood becoming incredibly hot and its temperature continuously rising. So strong, I now at least have the strength of 10,000 pounds. Jiang Fan squeezed his fist, feeling the immense power within him, where even a light punch would create a gust, with the fist's power reaching 10,000 pounds. He was now practically a humanoid monster. Ordinary martial artists coming close to him would be killed with a punch, torn to pieces. Ordinary stones would shatter instantly with a light squeeze from him. With such strength, he could completely tear through a military unit, rampaging back and forth. Even arrows and swords approaching him would be easily blocked, leaving him unscathed. He thought, opening his own panel. Name Jiang Fan. Life chart, great blessings equal to heaven attribute, great disaster avoided, good fortune ensues. Lifespan 95. Luck points 310. Cultivation technique, soaring snake technique incomplete 5th layer. Skills fishing, great success. Disguise technique, great success cows poison scripture, mastery aurora swordsmanship, mastery. Realm, refining organ realm 1%. Undoubtedly, all his abilities were enhanced to varying degrees. First, his lifespan increased to 95 years, previously only able to live to 90. To only increase by 5 years is naturally, because he was nearing the limit of a mortal lifespan. To advance further, naturally, it becomes a very difficult thing. It's like a score going from 30 to 60 is easier than from 90 to 100. Sometimes getting 1 or 2 questions wrong can deduct points. The same principle applies. Now his lifespan was at the limit of what martial artists could reach. To improve, the only way is to become a cultivator. The disguise technique unexpectedly improved to the level of great success. With a thought, Jiang Fan knew that disguise technique was inherently a martial Dao skill, closely related to his strength. As his martial arts cultivation improved, the disguise technique also rose accordingly. After advancing to the refining organ realm, he could easily manipulate his internal organs, bones, muscles, and skin, allowing his body to shrink from adult to childlike proportions. This way, it was basically impossible for an enemy to discern his identity. The ability of the five senses has also improved. Jiang Fan also noticed that his hearing, vision, and other senses improved significantly compared to before. Especially the perception of malice and killing intent became exceedingly sharp. Within a range of 20 to 30 meters, if someone harbored malice towards him, he would detect it. Even if the opponent intended to attack, he would sense it immediately. This was the ultrasensitive five senses granted by the soaring snake technique. Of course, powerful senses naturally enhance combat and martial arts talents. In battles against enemies, he had a considerable advantage, far beyond what other martial artists could compare. More importantly, I can now conceal my life force, even hide my true strength. Jiang Fan sensed that after reaching a high level of soaring snake technique, he could freely control his heartbeat, breathing, and aura, allowing him to hide in the shadows, like a venomous snake lurking in the dark, walking without a sound. Even if faced with enemies head-on, they couldn't see through his true strength. He could completely disguise himself as an ordinary person. However, other martial artists couldn't conceal it. After all, once martial arts training begins, the body undergoes various changes. For instance, increased muscle bulk, rough skin, and intense blood circulation are trademarks of a martial artist. But practicing the soaring snake technique made him seem like an ordinary person. No one could imagine that someone who looked like a gentle scholar would have terrifying power within, capable of strangling everything like an ancient python. Chapter 69. Chapter 69. Mastering Chi Force, Becoming a Martial Arts Grandmaster. Next is the cultivation of the refining organ realm. Cultivating in this realm is actually quite simple. You only need to perform the breathing technique, channeling the mystical substances of heaven and earth to refine the internal organs. Once the internal organs are thoroughly tempered, making the body's qi and blood unified, qi and blood can then flow through the entire body, allowing qi force to emerge within the meridians. Master the martial Dao Qi force, and you will become a martial arts grandmaster. Jiang Fan narrowed his eyes. Through obtaining the cultivation technique from Taoist Liu, he completely understood the cultivation of martial artists. Skin tempering, refined flesh, strong tendons, bone forging, refining the organs, and other realms are all to temper the physique. Once the body's qi and blood reach a certain strength, they can chemically react with the mystical substances in the universe, birthing martial Dao Qi force. Such qi force flows throughout the body, enabling the grandmaster to strike across mountains, the 100-step divine fist. A punch strikes out, qi force explodes, capable of killing enemies from afar. This is why martial arts grandmasters can fight 1 against 10,000 and pierce through an army. Unless the grandmaster's internal qi force is depleted, or they are exhausted, ordinary people cannot kill them. It can be said the training in the first 5 realms for martial artists is all to nurture the martial Dao Qi force. Without a solid martial Dao foundation and powerful physique, advancement is impossible. Even if Qi force is truly nurtured, once it flows throughout the body, it will lead to ruptured meridians, resulting in death. A strong physique is the foundation. Half an hour passed. Jiang Fan was thoroughly familiar with the surge of strength, and only then did he conclude this cultivation session. Having ascended to the refining organ realm as a martial artist, he felt a heightened sense of security. Even if the Red Eyebrow Army were to invade Yun's city, he wouldn't fear. He could still leave here with Su Weiwei. Of course, to be absolutely foolproof, he'd have to become a martial arts grandmaster, or even an innate martial artist. So he planned to keep a low profile. This level of strength is indeed enough for self-preservation, but not enough to act recklessly. Swoosh! With this thought, he left the room and returned to the bedroom. Su Weiwei had just finished bathing, dressed in a red halter top. Her stunning figure couldn't be concealed. It was simply scaldingly hot. Her beautiful eyes contained boundless allure. Without a doubt, she seemed to have matured a lot over this time, resembling a ripe peach. Husband. Su Weiwei looked at Jiang Fan charmingly, a shy blush on her lovely face with seductive eyes. Seeing this scene, how could Jiang Fan suppress his feelings? Having ascended to the refining organ realm, his internal qi and blood were twice as strong. Facing such a stunning beauty, and his wife no less, he couldn't control himself. Before long, the bedroom's bedding was tumbling, with cicada-like sounds ringing. Without a doubt, it was a passionate night. Several days passed. Jiang Fan and Su Weiwei stayed at home, inseparable. They were truly a perfect match. Fortunately, Su Weiwei's physique was special, with a strong endurance. Switching with an ordinary woman, she likely couldn't withstand such antics. So the two were harmonious, with music resonating. Meanwhile, Sun Yeyang and others' disappearance was immediately noticed by the money gang. But they couldn't find the corpses of Sun Yeyang and the others, unable to determine their life and death. If these people were important figures in the money gang, they might search with fanfare. But only some henchmen died. So they only searched briefly, wrapping it up without intending to publicize. Of course, the news reached the street where Jiang Fan lived, known by many neighbors. Did you hear? Sun Yeyang's gang seems to have disappeared. The money gang entered their house, only to find a bloodstain but no corpses. Heh, they didn't disappear, they died, and were even destroyed by some villain. No way they actually dare kill money gang members, who's so bold. Some suspect the culprits may be the Red Eyebrow Army, since there's a rumor their elite have infiltrated Yun City, planning to assassinate General Mutant. If the Red Eyebrow Army acted, the money gang indeed doesn't matter. No wonder those arrogant money gang thugs dare not search extensively, fearing they'll attract killers if they find any clues. Those money gang guys are sly, seeing as Sun Yeyang and others aren't key figures, they quickly wrapped it up, avoiding trouble. Dead is right, those Sun Yeyang punks did nothing good, stealing chicken and dogs, countless families robbed by them, though knowing their deeds, they couldn't fight back. Aren't they? Recently they even planned to target outsiders, intending home invasions. Luckily they're dead now, or many would have suffered. If the Red Eyebrow Army acted, Yun City could be dangerous. Who knows how many assassination cases will appear. So don't go out much now, especially near government offices. They're likely Red Eyebrow Army's focal points. We risk entanglement going there. Everyone discussed eagerly. They all applauded Sun Yeyang's gang's death, thinking they deserved it. Yet they held hidden concerns. Because the Red Eyebrow Army hadn't been completely annihilated, leaving significant elite forces. They could return anytime. If careless, they might get implicated. Being ordinary folks, they couldn't bear such risk. No way Sun Yeyang and others actually died. And their corpses destroyed. But didn't they plan to deal with that pair of outsiders before this? Could their death be related to that outsider couple? Broker Liu Jiang first heard the news, startled. He never imagined arrogant, heedless Sun Yeyang and others could die just like that. No warning signs beforehand. He first suspected the culprits might be that couple of outsiders. But this was just his suspicion, lacking evidence. After all, the culprits might be someone else, maybe just a coincidence. Forget it, whether a coincidence or not, it's unrelated to me. Just act like nothing happened. Besides, Sun Yeyang's death is a good thing. Liu Jiang took a deep breath, burying the matter within. Curiosity sometimes kills the cat. The more you know, the sooner you die. I'm just a simple broker, better not get involved. Chapter 70, The Many Evils of Money Gang. Yun City. Another month has passed. During this month, Jiang Fan and Su Weiwei have had a comfortable time in Yun City. After all, this is a big city, where all kinds of resources are readily available. As long as you have money, living here is like paradise, with no need to worry about anything else. Moreover, with the protection of the city walls, refugees cannot enter. So during this time, he hasn't encountered any theft or petty crime, and it's been very safe. At least there's no need to worry like in Osmanthus village, about refugees sneaking in quietly in the middle of the night. However, this doesn't mean that Yun City is absolutely safe. In fact, the news of General Mutant's severe injury has spread, causing unease among the people of Yun City. Meanwhile, the Red Eyebrow Army has also begun to stir, regrouping once again. No longer being chased everywhere by the government army as before. On the contrary, taking advantage of the government army's carelessness, the Red Eyebrow Army has even managed to strike back, causing significant damage to the government. This has brought the situation between the two sides to a stalemate. Both sides are fighting with equal intensity. What concerns Jiang Fan even more is that the news of Lu Yan's death has finally reached Yun City, and the Lu family has become aware. Recently, the fighting between the government and the Red Eyebrow Army outside the city has been too intense. Isn't that right? It's said that Lu Yan, one of the direct descendants of the Lu family, led troops out of the city, intending to gain some merit, but unexpectedly was ambushed by the Red Eyebrow Army and completely annihilated. I've heard about this too. It seems they arrived at a small fishing village in Osmanthus village, not expecting that Red Eyebrow Army members were lying in wait, catching Lu Yan off guard and resulting in total annihilation. In the end, even the corpses were burned to ashes, a fate most tragic, which has greatly enraged the Lu family. Being enraged doesn't change anything. When the Lu family led troops to Osmanthus village again, the whole village had disappeared and was nowhere to be found. Even wanting revenge, they have no way to do it. Really? The people of Osmanthus village managed to evade capture. The world is vast, but where could they possibly hide? That's unclear. Regardless, now the Lu family is furious, putting out a wanted notice for the people of Osmanthus village, but no news has come since. I heard a different rumor, saying that Lu Yan, accustomed to arrogance and domineering behavior, tried to falsely claim merit by killing innocents and annihilating the people of Osmanthus village. But instead, he was countered and completely wiped out. You can say his death was self-inflicted. No way is it true or false. Osmanthus village is just a bunch of fishermen. How could they counter a group of elite troops? Though Lu Yan's reputation indeed wasn't great, he was arrogant and licentious, and everyone in the city knew how many had fallen at his hands. It's said to be a claim made by Osmanthus villagers before they left, though its truth is unknown. Regardless, Lu Yan's death is a relief, for Yun City loses a menace. Shut your mouth, walls have ears. The money gang people are everywhere. If they hear this, they might exploit the situation. Yes, let's not discuss this further. The Lu family is very angry now, looking to make an example to instill fear. Don't risk ending up on the wrong side of them. Many people were gossiping about the news around the Lu family. After all, the Lu family is one of the top 3 noble families in Yun City, and it controls a powerful gang like the Money Gang, overseeing many aspects of Yun City. Many people have had interactions with the Lu family, even suffered oppression from them. Now hearing about the Lu family's misfortune, everyone feels secretly pleased, applauding the situation. Of course, outwardly, they wouldn't be so blatant. The villagers actually all left. Where exactly did they go? Upon hearing this news, Jiang Fan was quite surprised, initially worrying that if the villagers stayed at Osmanthus village, they might face slaughter by an enraged Lu family. But now it seems he underestimated the villager survival instincts. Even without him, the villagers managed to find their path. Though it's unknown where they went, it's better than staying in place to be surrounded by Lu family's troops. Though his prior worry seems superfluous. This world won't stop functioning because of someone's absence, and he's certainly not a savior. Don't elevate yourself to such heights. But this is also good news for him. If the villagers are all gone, then he and Su Weiwei won't be exposed. At least for a short time, the Lu family won't discover them. The most important thing is improving strength. If I can become a martial arts grandmaster, or even an innate martial artist. Even if the Lu family knows about this matter, there's no reason to worry. Jiang Fan squinted his eyes. Advancing to the grandmaster realm is actually simple for him, requiring the accumulation of 1,000 luck points. But currently, he has only 310 luck points. The gap to 1,000 luck points seems a bit distant. However, if he can fully absorb the medicinal power of the blood ginseng pill, it could save him plenty of luck points. Then perhaps with 700 or 800 luck points, he could advance. This way things would be easier, avoiding the long wait. Dong dong dong. At that moment, a rush of drums suddenly sounded outside the house. Then a group wearing black robes, with the word money embroidered on their backs, arrived on the street. One by one they were arrogant, looking down on others. The neighbors on the street turned pale, their faces ashen upon seeing these people. They knew these were members of the Money Gang. Their arrival here certainly didn't bode well. Get out here immediately. I'm He Yuliang, an elder of the money gang. If no one comes out within 3 breaths, then I'll break into your homes. Whatever happens, you'll bear the consequences. Speaking was a roughly 30 to 40-year-old man with a fleshy face, whose small eyes exuded a sharp and ruthless vibe, radiating powerful energy, clearly a bone-forging realm martial artist. His mere strength alone was enough to suppress the entire street. This is to say, it's Yun City. The martial artists here are exceedingly strong. If in Osmanthus village, encountering a martial artist would be tough, but in Yun City, martial artists are ubiquitous. Upon hearing this, the residents of the street, powerless, started coming out of their homes. They knew well the brutality of the money gang. Being the #1 faction in Yun City, they were ruthless and willing to do anything for profit. No one dares to challenge the authority of the money gang. Jiang Fan naturally didn't stand out, joining the others onto the street. Chapter 71. Chapter 71. Officials and bandits as one, collecting taxes for 30 years. That's right, you're smart enough not to make me use force. I believe you all know. Recently, the Red Eyebrow Army has been causing chaos, rebelling against authority, committing all sorts of atrocities. Even the direct descendant Liu Yan of the Liu family fell at the hands of those rebels. To protect the safety of Yun City, the government has been exhausting their efforts, spending a large amount of money. Thus, the government needs your financial support to deal with those rebels, to restore peace and order to the world. He Yuliang, the elder of the money gang, spoke straightforwardly, without any roundabout, directly stating his purpose of coming here, which was to collect taxes on behalf of the government. Why is the money gang so powerful, covering every aspect of Yun City? Because the money gang is the government's dark hand, helping the government collect taxes and do some shady business. In some ways, the money gang is the shadow side of the government. Even if something really happens, the lower-class people want to report it to the authorities, but it will not be processed. After all, the two sides are originally in cahoots. Over time, the ordinary residents of Yun City have come to fear the people of the money gang like a tiger. Elder He, collecting taxes again. Previously, you had already collected our taxes up to 20 years ahead. And now you want to collect taxes again. Do you want to collect Yun City's taxes up to 30 years ahead? Someone immediately felt very dissatisfied, thinking that the taxation was really absurd, almost increasing taxes year by year. Even people with deep pockets can't withstand such taxation. This is clearly robbing money, and it's robbing money from ordinary people. Shut up. What right do you have to be dissatisfied? Right now, our soldiers in Yun City are fighting bravely, sacrificing for Yun City. What is it to contribute a little money? If Yun City is breached, you all will die, surely slaughtered by the Red Eyebrow Army. Of course, if you don't want to pay money, then pay with people. It just so happens that our Yun City Suicide Squad is in need of servants. You all can join. The same goes for women. Men will be slaves, women will be prostitutes. He Yuliang let out a cold snort, swept a glance at everyone, a hint of ferocity flickering in the depths of his pupils. His threat was undisguised. A murderous aura permeated from him, like a wolf. The many residents were all silent as cicadas in winter, not daring to say anything. Facing these fierce members of the money gang, they have no power to resist. Moreover, they are very ruthless. If they really anger them, it might result in death or disability. A raven is black everywhere in the world. Seeing this scene, Jiang Fan's pupils contracted, and he couldn't help clenching his fists. He originally thought that after coming to Yun City, he would avoid similar situations. He didn't expect that within Yun City, such things became even more intensified. Moreover, compared to the Dragon King gang, the money gang is even more ruthless and unscrupulous. After all, the money gang is simply the government's dark hand in Yun City. No matter what they do, they will have government backing. So when they act, they need not worry about anything. It seems you have nothing to say either. Each of you line up to pay. He Yuliang wasted no words, directly giving the order. The surrounding neighbors had no choice but to step forward and pay. But soon someone could not produce the money. After all, not everyone has savings. The previous taxes had already exhausted their family wealth. How could they produce money now? Dear sirs, spare us, please spare us. Previously, we had already given all our possessions. there truly is no more money. Please pardon us for some time. We will definitely be able to come up with the money. With a plop, kneeling on the ground was the middle-aged man Suda, kowtowing to the people of the money gang, his forehead bleeding, a face full of fear and unease. His family sells tofu. Originally, it was a small, thin-profit business. Supporting the whole family daily was already very hard, now faced with heavy taxes. And it's not just one-time taxation but multiple collections. He simply couldn't come up with extra money. Now all he could do was kneel on the ground, begging the money gang members for mercy, hoping they could be lenient for a while. With a thud, a big man next to him punched him, hitting Suda hard in the face, making him bleed from all 7 orifices, seeing stars, collapsing to the ground, wailing continuously. He cursed, "Spare you, my ass, if you have no money, become a slave. Others selling tofu have money, but you selling tofu have none. It must be because of your laziness that you have not earned anything. In that case, go become a slave in the military camp. Oh, and bring your whole family, all of you become slaves. This way, you will all not need to pay money in the future." Other members of the money gang stepped forward, beating Suda's family with punches and kicks, showing no restraint. They fell to the ground with a sound, not even to listen to any of their pleas for forgiveness. Then a group of people went forward and dragged Suda's family away. Blood flowed on the ground. Even though it was the height of summer, the scorching sun in the sky, deep inside the hearts of those present, a chill rose. They never expected that Suda, who usually was unassuming, hardworking, would be beaten into slaves, his family ruined, a common scene in this chaotic world. Even they had no courage to resist. Because those people represent the money gang, represent the government. They are the government and money gang's dogs. Even if they killed all of them, what of it? Facing the counterattack of the money gang and the government, it's still a dead end. People without power, no matter what, cannot control their own destiny. It feels so powerless. See that? This is what happens if you don't pay. No money, go be a slave. Elder He Yuliang looked at this scene with satisfaction. This was like killing the chicken to scare the monkey. Without this act, these people might really think they were harmless. These bastards. Jiang Fan clenched his fists, unable to suppress a surge of anger in his heart. But he knew anger cannot change fate. Only power can change fate. Without power, it's just impotent rage. He must endure, gather strength. Only then can he change the fate of the lower class. But having witnessed this scene, the surrounding neighbors didn't dare to say anything more. They could only obediently pay. But even so, several families could not come up with the money, and were thus dragged away by the money gang to become military slaves. In no time, it was Jiang Fan's turn to come before He Yuliang and the others. "Oh, you look unfamiliar. You must not be an original resident of this street." He Yuliang squinted his eyes, scrutinizing Jiang Fan. After all, he had been on this street many times and already knew the residents well. Someone like Jiang Fan was being seen for the first time, so he must be an outsider. Chapter 72. Chapter 72. Perceiving people's hearts extorting money. "Lord He, you truly have sharp eyes. I am indeed from out of town. Only recently have I come to live in Yun City." Jiang Fan nodded. He did not hide his identity as an outsider. After all, due to recent unrest, many people have left Yun City, but more people have entered. Outsiders like him were not few in number. So he was not particularly conspicuous. An outsider. Recently, we've been strictly investigating outsiders in Yun City. It's to prevent some lawless individuals from sneaking in and causing trouble within our city. You wouldn't happen to be a spy for the Red Eyebrow Army, would you? Elder He Yuliang looked at Jiang Fan and directly labeled him a spy. He showed a clearly malicious intent. "Indeed, confess immediately. What is your true intention in coming to Yun City at this time?" Other money gang members surrounded Jiang Fan, appearing ready for a confrontation. What? Upon hearing this, Jiang Fan's heart sank. Was this guy planning to make trouble for him? But they had never met. What reason did he have to cause problems? Wait, this was a feeling of greed. Could this guy be attempting to extort money? Ever since he ascended to the refining organ realm, his sensitivity to ordinary people's emotions had become increasingly keen. Joy, anger, malice, murderous intent, greed, all these emotions could not escape his perception. Thus, he seemed increasingly familiar with controlling people's hearts. This was the power brought by the soaring snake technique, mastering a power akin to divine ability, truly incredible. Clearly, Elder He Yuliang did not harbor any malice or murderous intent, only pure greed. This meant the person intended to make some money. Of course, if handled improperly, it could turn into malice and murderous intent. Emotions often shift in a single thought. By handling it well, danger could be turned into safety. Lord He misunderstood. I'm powerless. How could I possibly be a spy for the Red Eyebrow Army? If you don't believe me, I can show you proof. Jiang Fan smiled slightly. He didn't fear the other side having desires, only feared them lacking desires, which was most troublesome. Prove what proof? Elder He Yuliang spoke lazily, but soon his eyes brightened as he saw Jiang Fan discreetly handing over heavy silver taels. He kept his composure and accepted them. Suddenly he felt very satisfied. It seemed this young man was wise and saved him the trouble. After all, he just wanted monetary gain. If the other side was sensible, he wouldn't pursue further. Cough, cough, this proof is indeed quite crucial. It seems you aren't a spy sent by the Red Eyebrow Army. Live well in Yun City from now on. As long as you don't cause trouble, our money gang can protect you. Elder He Yuliang casually gave an empty promise, very satisfied to have accepted the silver taels from Jiang Fan. He thought if more sensible people came, his monthly expenses wouldn't be a worry. Seeing this scene, other money gang members also relaxed one by one. Thank you, Lord He. Jiang Fan breathed a sigh of relief, sensing joy and satisfaction emanating from He Yuliang, knowing he had made the right move and avoided a disaster. Fortunately, he wasn't short of money, so such a small amount didn't matter. Of course, he wasn't afraid of He Yuliang. He only worried about the money gang behind He Yuliang. If he acted here, conflict with the money gang would surely arise. He might not be able to continue living in Yun City. Having found a stable place to live, he certainly didn't want to leave soon. But if the other side didn't recognize the opportunity and push too far, he wouldn't mind sending them off. Patience also had its limits. Soon, He Yuliang and his group received the money and quickly left this street. But the neighbors were all dismayed. They showed no joy, only deep anger. How much tax do these money gang bloodsuckers want to collect? They've collected taxes beyond 20 years, yet still want more, clearly robbing us with no way to live. Someone gritted their teeth, extremely angry. Especially seeing households unable to pay being dragged away by the money gang, it made the feeling of shared despair rise. Just now Suda's family met such doom. Who knows if it would be their turn tomorrow? Can't we report them? Their actions are excessive. Report them. They're in cahoots with the government. Previously, people have reported them, but just entering the government office they'd be beaten out. If only beaten out it would be fine, but even more serious, they'd find an excuse and drag them to the military camp, truly with no recourse. Yeah, knowing this earlier, we'd rather open the city gates and let the Red Eyebrow Army in. This damned world. The crowd clenched their fists, filled with rage. But they were helpless. Facing the power of martial artists, the strength of ordinary people was too weak. Any skin-tempering realm martial artist could massacre them entirely. This was why noble families remained standing for millennia. Whoosh! At this moment, Jiang Fan returned home. Su Weiwei waited anxiously at home. She had heard the screams and cries outside earlier. This felt just like being back in Osmanthus village under the oppression of the Dragon King gang. Originally thought such events would disappear after arriving in Yun City. Unexpectedly, they worsened instead. Could only be said that ravens everywhere are equally dark. No matter where you live, ordinary people are oppressed without a day of relief. Husband. Su Weiwei was delighted seeing Jiang Fan return. Don't worry, it was a trivial matter. Those people just wanted money. Jiang Fan embraced Su Weiwei, sensing her worry and comforted her. I'm sorry, husband. The cultivation technique you gave me last time, I still haven't learned it. If I had, maybe I'd be able to help you. Su Weiwei apologized. She knew the immortal cultivation technique's preciousness well, and spreading it would cause a sensation. Sadly, her aptitude was too poor, and she still couldn't begin practice. Perhaps because of too little training. Train with me, and you'll surely master it quickly. Jiang Fan picked Su Weiwei up by the waist, feeling her enchanting figure, soft and supple, wanting to comfort her through direct action. Husband. Su Waiwei's face blushed, eyes seductive. Soon, inside the house, the bed covers rolled and cries echoed. Chapter 73, Swordsmanship at the Micro Level. Second morning. Su Waiwei lay on Jiang Fan, sleeping soundly like a baby. Her impressive and fiery figure was fully revealed, and her beautiful, charming face contained myriad expressions of allure, exuding a faint fragrance. Like a ripe peach. After a night of tumbling, even though her physique was special, she was a bit exhausted. At this moment, Jiang Fan sensed a message from deep in his sea of consciousness. You paid the taxes for Yun's city, bribed money gang elder He Yuliang, leaving him highly pleased, thereby surviving a killing disaster and obtaining 200 luck points. Feeling this message, Jiang Fan was instantly delighted, even though he did not gain a fortuitous encounter this time. The full 200 luck points were enough for him to do many things, surely greatly enhancing his power. If this happens a few more times, he might soon accumulate over 1,000 luck points. By then, he could become a martial arts grandmaster. Encountering a calamity is certainly disastrous for others. But for Jiang Fan, it's an enormous benefit. Once overcome, adversity will lead to fortune, with luck following continuously, which can greatly accelerate his progress, causing the gathered luck surrounding him to intensify. However, he wouldn't deliberately seek out disasters. Such things can just happen naturally. Moreover, in chaotic times, disasters are not lacking. Especially for ordinary people, it's like a roof leaking during a stormy night. Achieving even a moment of tranquility is extremely difficult. It seems I still need to continue enhancing my strength. Becoming a martial arts grandmaster in a short period is impossible. Given this, the only way to improve combat power is to enhance martial arts skills. Jiang Fan squinted his eyes. He planned to spend his luck points to enhance his Aurora swordsmanship. Originally, his Aurora swordsmanship was already at the mastery level, renowned for being unbeatable among peers. If he reached the great success realm, he might level up in challenges and defeat martial arts grandmasters. In this case, the vast world would truly be accessible everywhere. Thus for him, enhancing the Aurora swordsmanship realm is highly cost-effective. Honestly, he also felt a sense of urgency within, not knowing when Yun's city would fall into chaos. After all, General Mu De is seriously injured and might pass away at any time. If he passes, Yun's city will certainly fall into chaos again. Without strong power, survival in such turmoil is impossible. Just like the Su De family, who were diligent and honest throughout life, yet the result was the destruction of family and household. The problem wasn't with them, they were simply too weak. Thus unable to dictate their destiny, only to be dictated by it. Swishing. With this thought, Jiang Fan got up and went to the cultivation room. Without hesitation, he immediately consumed his luck points. Instantly, 200 luck points were consumed. Mysterious energy swiftly pulled his soul into a mysterious space. At this moment, his soul resided in this mysterious space, and his comprehension achieved a remarkable boost. He started practicing Aurora swordsmanship continuously. Every move and gesture contained its unique rhythm. Without knowing how long it passed, it seemed as if he had endured arduous training for 40 to 50 years. The swordsmanship level seemed to naturally progress to a new level. Aurora swordsmanship of the great success realm. Incredibly powerful. In an instant, Jiang Fan sensed an understanding about Aurora swordsmanship of the great success realm, like a profound revelation, instantly penetrated every corner of his body, forming muscle memory. It felt like he practiced this swordsmanship diligently for 40 to 50 years. Simultaneously, his comprehension reached a whole new level. If the mastery level of Aurora swordsmanship made him well aware of sword moves, then the great success realm Aurora swordsmanship allowed him control over the sword to attain micro level. Yes, the great success realm Aurora swordsmanship reached the micro level. Upon reaching this realm, one could precisely grasp every tiny bit of strength in the body. Thus, the force unleashed would not leak a bit. This is an extremely terrifying level. Once achieving the micro level, combat power would soar several times, renowned as unassailable among those of equal rank. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. In an instant, Jiang Fan began moving, pulling out Cheng Ying's sword from his body. He unleashed a sword strike, and 18 black sword lights appeared in midair. The power of each sword light can easily tear through giant rocks. If it were the previous sword Dao realm, there would definitely be a sound breaking through the air. But now a sword strike, unbelievably silent as if merging into the air. This is the micro-level swordsmanship, accurately controlling every ounce of strength in the body. It must be known that he mastered 10,000 pounds of strength. Each move, each strike, contained terrifying potency. But upon reaching the micro-level, he could precisely control 10,000 pounds of strength, allowing no leakage in power. Thus, the power of each sword would be amplified several times. Simply incomparable to before. Aurora swordsmanship reaching this level could rightfully be called Sword Dao Master. With this thought, Jiang Fan's heart stirred, opening the panel. Name Jiang Fan. Life chart, great blessings equal to heaven attribute, surviving great calamities bringing subsequent fortune. Lifespan 95. Luck points 310. Cultivation technique, soaring snake technique incomplete 5th layer. Skills fishing, great success. Disguise technique, great success. Gao's poison scripture, mastery aurora swordsmanship, great success. Realm, refining organ realm 10%. Undoubtedly, his strength had undergone tremendous improvement. It felt as though he had stepped into the refining organ realm for decades, already a seasoned martial artist of the refining organ realm. Perhaps he might even be able to contend with a martial arts grandmaster. Inflated, slightly inflated. Better be cautious. Jiang Fan took a deep breath. Although he was fully confident in his strength, he wouldn't be foolish enough to actually confront a master. Even if he indeed possessed the ability to challenge levels, he wouldn't do so recklessly. If possible, he'd rather bully the weak with strength and crush people with higher realms. In this way, he'd truly be safe, without unexpected accidents. He trained in martial arts to protect himself, not to be malicious or aggressive. Hence, he wouldn't rashly engage with martial arts grandmasters. Yet even so, possessing micro-level swordsmanship made him feel capable of fighting any martial artist of the refining organ realm, possibly even killing them easily. This significantly heightened his sense of security. At least he wouldn't constantly feel uneasy as before. Chapter 74, The Death of the Grandmaster. A few more days passed. Jiang Fan continuously cultivated the aurora swordsmanship, thoroughly stabilizing his great success realm. This allowed him to increasingly control his power with precision, even being able to manage every inch of muscle and skin on his body. At the same time, he could also restrain his aura, making himself seem like an ordinary person. Even if a martial arts grandmaster stood before him, they couldn't discern the extent of his strength. This led him to further insights into the soaring snake technique. Originally, Jiang Fan thought these peaceful days would last for some time, but unexpectedly, one day, a shocking news suddenly came from the city lord's mansion, shaking all of Yun City. It made every resident of Yun City feel incredulous and extremely shocked. General Muden is dead. Damn, last night at the city lord's mansion, the Bat King of the Red Eyebrow Army infiltrated Yun City. Assassinated General Muden. As a result, General Muden died instantly, even his heart was gouged out. Over half of the guards defending the city lord's mansion were killed or wounded. It was horrific. Now the government has gone completely mad, determined to thoroughly investigate Yun City and must find the Bat King Yang Qin. The news spread immediately. Although the government wanted to keep this news under wraps, there's no wall in the world that doesn't let wind through. Plus, there might be Red Eyebrow Army insiders within Yun City stirring things up. This caused the news to spread like a hurricane throughout Yun City, known by countless ordinary people. How is it possible? General Muden is a martial arts grandmaster. How could he die just like that? Normally, killing General Muden is nearly an impossible task, but he had long been gravely injured after battling the Red Eyebrow Army's leader, lying on the bed unable to move. Thus, it gave the Bat King Yang Qin an opportunity. Isn't this Bat King Yang Qin one of the Red Eyebrow Army's commanders? He actually dared to infiltrate our Yun City and commit such a major crime, truly too arrogant. Is he not afraid of death? That's why some suspect that there are people within Yun City colluding with Yang Qin, allowing this Bat King Yang Qin to have an opportunity, working inside and outside to succeed. Can't be. How can we handle this? If General Muden is dead, can we still defend against the Red Eyebrow Army? Everyone discussed passionately, each of them extremely shocked. Though they felt the threat of the Red Eyebrow Army was indeed close at hand, as long as General Muden was there, Yoon City could surely be carefree and not troubled by the Red Eyebrow Army. But now, with General Muden dead, Yoon City lost a pillar that held the sky. Whether Yoon City can be defended in the future is hard to say. If the Red Eyebrow Army were to invade Yoon City, no one knows what would happen. Heth, although the threat of the Red Eyebrow Army's attack is imminent, I think we should be more worried about the Money Gang. Now that the Bat King Yang Qin has fled, the government is searching the entire city. They might search house by house for the Bat King Yang Qin and his associates. With this opportunity, I'm worried the people from the Money Gang might seize it to make money. Someone said quietly. Upon hearing this, everyone's face turned very unsightly. They knew all too well the nature of the Money Gang people. Even in normal times, even without opportunity, they would look for ways to make money. Now with such an excuse, they're likely to be even more rampant. If there's no money at home, the Money Gang might use it as a pretext for robbery. They might even destroy families. Such incidents have happened countless times before. Each person was worried, but they were helpless. Husband, how could Yoon City fall into chaos so quickly? How long has it been peaceful? Hearing the news, Su Weiwei was filled with apprehension. She originally thought she could live peacefully for a while after arriving in Yoon City. Unexpectedly, calamities came one after another, giving people no time to breathe. There's nothing to be done. Yoon City itself was a place of war. The war isn't truly over. Occurrences like this are actually foreseeable. Don't worry, even if the Red Eyebrow Army really invades, we'll still be safe. Jiang Fan said solemnly. Although this indeed disrupted his previous plans, he didn't expect General Muden would die so soon, and that the culprit would be the Bat King Yang Qin, who once occupied Tong County, causing considerable slaughter there, notorious for frightening children. But he didn't regret coming to Yoon City, because even staying in Osmanthus village wouldn't escape such chaos. They might face a surge of bandits and refugees. The situation could be much worse. Staying in Yoon City at least offers the protection of the city walls, keeping outside marauders away. And even though General Muden is dead, the government troops are still around. The Red Eyebrow Army might find it not as simple as imagined to invade. With the city walls' defense, Yoon City could at least hold on for a long time. Of course, even more crucial is that he's now a martial artist in the refining organ realm. Even if Yoon City is breached in the future, he can protect himself. No doubt the surge power within him gave him ample confidence. But if he could become a martial arts grandmaster, the confidence would be even greater. Mere strength in the refining organ realm is far from enough. Upon hearing this, Su Weiwei immediately felt at ease. Though currently amidst a crisis, as long as her husband was there would definitely be no problem. By afternoon, governmental constables and members of the Money Gang came to this street, started searching houses for Red Eyebrow Army spies. They swore and seized the opportunity to make money. Many were severely beaten by these constables, left bruised and seriously injured. Jiang Fan had no choice but to pay money to avert disaster, driving these bloodsuckers away. This made him hate the Money Gang even more. This gang is simply a cancer in Yoon City. Eventually, these people left empty-handed, without finding anyone from the Red Eyebrow Army. Undoubtedly, these constables and Money Gang members were just putting on a show. After all, who doesn't know the cruelty of the Red Eyebrow Army? Who doesn't know the terror of the Bat King Yang Qin? If they found them, they'd surely face a killing spree. By then, these small fry would be the first to bear the brunt. The benefits wouldn't come, instead losing their lives. In such a situation, they naturally wouldn't seriously search, rather just doing it perfunctorily. Moreover, Yoon City is so big, finding a few Red Eyebrow Army insiders is incredibly difficult. It's just like fishing a needle from the sea. Chapter 75, Capturing the Blood Slave. These bastards are just like the government and bandits being one and the same. Just finding an excuse to ask for money. Even a bank wouldn't demand money like this. They only dare to bully us, but when faced with those noble families, who among them dares to step forward? To be honest, I truly wish the Red Eyebrow Army would slaughter their way in and massacre these damn noble families. Yeah, these governmental constables and Money Gang members are even more despicable than the Red Eyebrow Army. The neighbors gossiped fiercely, everyone gritting their teeth in hatred. The taxes collected earlier had already resulted in huge financial losses. But now the other party has found another excuse to collect money. It's simply endless. If this continues, even the wealthiest people won't be able to withstand it. Honestly, they are all thinking of defecting to the rebels now. A government like this is better off being destroyed. It's fair to say, with what these governmental constables and money gang members are doing, public grievances are swelling. It's like a powder keg, ready to explode at any moment. No rush. Once I become a martial arts grandmaster, I'll make these people pay. Jiang Fan clenched his fists, also filled with anger. But he isn't impatient. After all, if big trouble arises, he'd definitely need to leave Yun City. Even though his power in the refining organ realm allows him to roam freely, it's not particularly safe. Only by becoming a martial arts grandmaster will he truly be qualified to roam the world. He is exceedingly cautious and won't act carelessly unless he is completely sure. Besides, it's just money. Merely external possessions. If he wanted, he could retrieve the money at any time, so it's not really an issue. Late at night, the moonlight is sparse. Yun City, a street in the outer city. 5 figures are leaping across houses like fleas. Under the cover of night, they are traversing the outer city of Yun City. Leading them is Jiang, a trusted subordinate of the Bat King Yang Qin, a bone forger realm martial artist. There's even someone Jiang Fan knows very well. It's Peng Wei, the strong sinew realm martial artist who once came to Osmanthus village to collect the monthly salary. Undoubtedly, the infiltration of Yun City this time isn't just about the Bat King Yang Qin. His many trusted subordinates are with him, a full-fledged operation. Lord Ji, why are we risking so much to infiltrate Yun City this time? Though luck was on our side this time, we managed to take down Muda, a martial arts grandmaster. But now we're surrounded within Yun City's defenses. If the search continues, our whereabouts might be exposed. We could be killed then. Peng Wei mentioned worriedly. After all, they are in the enemy's base. A moment's carelessness could lead to being surrounded by the government, captured and executed. Undoubtedly, now they face a situation of 10 enemy encirclements, extremely perilous. This is essentially risking their lives in exchange for Muda's life. For the Red Eyebrow Army, it's a good trade. But for these people, it's not so great. Because once they die, future glory and wealth slip away. Even if the Red Eyebrow Army eventually conquers the world, it has nothing to do with them. There's simply no need to take such big risks. More importantly, he's well aware of his boss Yang Qin's personality, who isn't the kind to sacrifice himself for others, so there must be another purpose for risking so much to infiltrate Yun City. I know your thoughts. You surely want to know the reason why the leader risked coming into Yun City to assassinate Grandmaster Muda. Originally, this matter shouldn't be disclosed to you. But since it's been successful, revealing the true reason is no harm. Actually, the leader risked doing this for breakthrough, to become a martial arts grandmaster. Jiang said in a solemn voice, directly revealing the Bat King Yang Qin's objective. To become a martial arts grandmaster. Rumor has it that the leader cultivates the Bat Demon technique, which requires consuming fresh blood. Only by doing so can the daily cultivation needs be met. And the more powerful a martial artist's blood, the more beneficial it is to the leader. Previously, the leader was stuck at the bottleneck of the refining organ realm, unable to break through. It's said that the reason for not breaking through is lacking the essence blood of a martial arts grandmaster. Meaning, the leader planned to assassinate Muda to acquire the essence blood from Muda. Someone's eyes gleamed as they instantly grasped Yang Qin's true motive. After all, they are longtime trusted subordinates of Yang Qin, familiar with his situation. So just a few words, and they immediately understood what was happening. That's right, you are indeed smart enough. Just from a few words, you comprehended the leader's intentions. They say wealth is sought in danger. Grandmaster Mu does severely injured, and on the brink of death presents the best opportunity for the leader. After all, a typical martial arts grandmaster won't face such situations. And with living grandmasters, the leader doesn't dare cause trouble unless he wants to die. Therefore, to break through to the grandmaster realm, the leader chose to risk. For the leader, to succeed is to achieve greatness. Once successful, the leader can instantly become a grandmaster. At that time, returning to the Red Eyebrow Army, he could stand against Xianxia. And we, as trusted subordinates of the leader, can naturally gain endless wealth and honor. Jiang smiled faintly. He understood his companions' worries, and to prevent them from succumbing to fear and surrendering to the government, he revealed some secrets of the leader. This boosted his companions' confidence, preventing any division. Sure enough, upon hearing this, they felt immense joy. They're not afraid of danger, only afraid of having no reward for their efforts. The leader indeed sets an example for us, and genuinely allowed the leader to succeed. Not only did he eliminate Muda, but he also gained his essence blood. This makes the leader's ascension to Grandmaster inevitable. Yeah, once the leader becomes a Grandmaster, he can certainly lead us to break out of Yoon City. Break out of nothing. He can stay in Yoon City and collaborate with the Red Eyebrow Army inside and out. The crowd speculated joyfully. Because once the Red Eyebrow Army births a second Grandmaster, their strength will undoubtedly be greatly enhanced. As trusted subordinates of the Grandmaster, the benefits they receive are self-evident. However, the leader has suffered considerable injuries from the last battle, needing a large amount of essence blood for replenishment. So this time, we were sent to capture some blood slaves, to help the leader quickly recover from his injuries. Therefore, we must ensure this plan is foolproof. Jiang's eyes shimmered with a cold light, a terrible murderous aura enveloping him. Chapter 76, Slaying Peng Wei, Avenging the Grudge. Lord Ji, we understand this matter. Finding blood slaves is simply a piece of cake. But what kind of blood slave would be suitable for the leader? Peng Wei immediately asked. He was highly motivated now to achieve a great accomplishment. For these bandits, killing is just an ordinary affair. They're long accustomed to it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have become Yang Qin's trusted subordinates. Not old ones, not young ones. The best blood slaves are young people. Because young people are strong and vigorous and full of vitality. Best are martial artists, that's also the leader's favorite. However, due to the current situation in Yoon City, where everyone is vigilant and there are search parties everywhere, we can't act rashly. So I plan to capture some young people outside the city as blood slaves to quickly help the leader recover from injuries. Jiang straightforwardly revealed his plan. He dared not disturb the areas where noble families reside. After all, those grand houses might have hidden martial artists inside. If they intrude recklessly, they might die in there. As the saying goes, squeeze soft ones if squeezing tomatoes. Therefore, he planned to prey on common civilians. After all, he had done similar things countless times before. He was already well versed in it. Lord Ji, have you found the target? Someone curiously asked. Indeed, I've found a few targets. Tonight they will be our blood slaves. First is a young couple from outside. They have no connections here. Even if they go missing, no one will care. They're the best choice for us to strike. Jiang immediately spoke, revealing his plan for tonight. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. In an instant, a group of people sprinted along, like night cats, deftly and silently reaching a residence which was none other than Jiang Fan's place. They landed in the backyard of this residence. No sound seems they're asleep. After we go in, let's cut their throats immediately. Don't give them any chance to scream for help. Our operation this time must be swift, no complications. Jiang listened carefully to the sounds inside the house and heard rhythmic breathing. He believed the couple inside was surely in a deep sleep, perfect for them to strike. Let me do it, I'll handle them. Peng Wei volunteered. He felt he needed to achieve something concrete to gain the leader's favor. Whether he could achieve great success in the future depended on this moment. Oh, you think you can take care of me? Just then a voice suddenly rang out, accompanied by a flash of sword light. It was like a beam tearing through the darkness, incredibly fast, silent. Boom! Before Peng Wei could react, the sword swept across, instantly slicing open his head, which flew away and finally slammed onto the ground, raising dust everywhere. Then he turned into a headless corpse. A torrent of blood gushed out like a fountain. The severed head fell to the ground, eyes wide open, showing horror, shock, and disbelief. As if he couldn't believe he had died just like that. What? Seeing this scene, Jiang and the others' pupils contracted. They never expected that the randomly chosen residence was actually home to such a top-tier expert. Just one sword in Peng Wei, a strong sinews realm martial artist, died. His head was chopped off with one strike. Moreover, the opponent's sword speed was beyond what the naked eye could perceive. Without a doubt, the opponent must be a sword Dao master, with combat power reaching the refining organ realm level. They trembled all over, feeling extremely unlucky. Run! Without a word, Ji Liang and the others immediately fled into the distance. Facing such a terrifying sword Dao master, no words were useful. Moreover, the opponent was ruthless, killing one of their companions instantly. So pleading was pointless. Their only choice now was to escape, to survive. Too late. Jiang Fan watched this scene with a calm expression. If he was still a bone-forging realm martial artist before, he might not have been able to catch up with all of them, perhaps letting one or two escape. But since becoming a refining organ realm martial artist, his strength and speed increased several times over. Compared to before, it's completely different. Swish! In an instant, Jiang Fan's figure flickered. His body darted out like a flying snake, incredibly fast, while his treasure sword slashed out. Instantly, several sword lights were unleashed, easily tearing through the air, containing terrifying sharpness. This is swordsmanship at the micro level, perfectly controlling all power. Its killing power rivals that of a grandmaster. Boom tilde tilde. The next second, before Ji Liang and the others could take a step to escape, sword lights blasted towards them. Instantly, their heads were sent flying. Including Ji Liang and the others, all had no chance to fight back, killed in an instant. There was now an addition of 4 more headless corpses in the yard. Blood flowed out abundantly. Their eyes wide open, pupils filled with astonishment and fear. Originally, they intended to capture blood slaves to help the leader recover from injuries. Who could have guessed that they'd be so unlucky? Right from the start, they encountered such a sword Dao master and were killed instantly, without a chance to retaliate. It's said that walking in the darkness often leads to meeting ghosts. Daring to disturb my home, you practically sought your own death. Jiang Fan looked at the 5 uninvited guests he had killed, feeling very satisfied. He had diligently practiced the soaring snake technique to master powerful forces so he could control his own fate. Now it seems it's finally having some effect. Even facing various ordeals, he could easily resolve them, neutralizing them without a trace. If he hadn't trained in martial arts, encountering such ordeals, he would only be able to close his eyes and await death. Is this Peng Wei of the Red Eyebrow Army? The Red Eyebrow Army officer who came to Osmanthus village for monthly salary. Unexpectedly, he still ended up dying at my hands. Seeing these people, Jiang Fan immediately recognized Peng Wei, having seen him before and even paid protection money, remembering it vividly. He had once wanted revenge to make him pay. Initially, after leaving Osmanthus village, he thought he had no chance for revenge. Unexpectedly, he met him again here in Yun City. Ultimately, this person died by his hands. This felt like fate to him. Chapter 77. Chapter 77. Blessings and misfortunes intertwined, the attraction of destiny. Is it destiny? It can also be said that this is the guidance of destiny, the guidance of the life chart. Jiang Fan squinted his eyes. He felt that his understanding of his life chart, great blessings equal to heaven, seemed to have deepened further. Indeed, he possessed immense destiny that could help him obtain various opportunities. But likewise, various tribulations would follow. Even if he didn't go out and stayed at home, he might still encounter tribulations. He himself would become the center of tribulation, constantly attracting tribulation chi. That's why these Red Eyebrow Army did not go elsewhere but came to his place. This was not a coincidence, but a kind of inevitability. There is no free lunch in the world. The greater the benefits, the greater the responsibility one must bear. Since he enjoys endless destiny, he will also attract countless tribulations. Therefore, if he wants to cope with future tribulations, he needs to continuously enhance his strength. Otherwise, one day he will surely die under tribulations. Jiang Fan clenched his fists. Undoubtedly, the life chart on him is a double-edged sword. It is precisely because of the endless destiny that helps him escape his original destiny. But it will also lead him to face endless tribulations. This is like being constantly hunted by a monster, forcing him to keep moving forward. If he stops moving forward, he will definitely perish and be completely devoured by tribulations. Yet even so, he would not give up the benefits brought by this life chart. Just like a wealthy person from a past life once said, he never wanted to be poor in this life. If wealthy, he could find solutions even when facing challenges in a villa. But if poor, he could only cry in a factory. The same logic applies now. If he was still an ordinary person, he would likely have long since been unable to withstand the oppression of the Dragon King gang and become a corpse. He certainly wouldn't have had the chance to live here in Yoon City. Boom tilde tilde. In no time, Jiang Fan also piled these corpses together, then used corpse-dissolving water to instantly dissolve the corpses, allowing them to completely merge into the earth. In this way, no one would know they had ever been here. Bang! At this moment, a message instantly entered the depths of his conscious sea. You have slain Peng Wei and others who attacked in the night, traversed a killing tribulation, and gained 350 luck points, along with one 9th grade opportunity. Not bad. Jiang Fan smiled faintly, feeling very satisfied. With the addition of these 350 luck points, he now had a total of 660 luck points. If he continues to accumulate for a while, he will soon reach over 1,000 luck points. The death of Peng Wei and the others brought him such great benefits, truly a worthwhile death. However, he did not expect to bring a 9th grade opportunity either. He wondered what kind of opportunity it was. Thinking of this, he gently clicked on the opportunity light point in the depths of his conscious sea. Then a message spread. After 3 days at noon, go to fish vendor's stall in the West Street Market for a 9th grade opportunity. Jiang Fan blinked. Although he didn't know why the 9th grade opportunity appeared there, he would go and see in 3 days, believing it certainly wouldn't disappoint him. A few hours later, the sun rose. Yoon City, a certain house. This was where Bat King Yang Qin resided. He was sitting cross-legged on the ground, in ragged clothes, with fresh blood occasionally seeping out. His body had numerous knife wounds, clearly indicating severe injuries. Undoubtedly, in the prior battle at the city lord's mansion, although he succeeded in assassinating Grandmaster Mu Da and seized Mu Da's essence blood, he was also besieged by many martial artists from the city lord's mansion. He expended tremendous effort to escape from the city lord's mansion. However, for him, this was not considered a fatal injury. As long as he devours enough fresh blood, he can rapidly recover. Having waited this long, could it be that Ji Liang and others have faced an accident, already dead? What a bunch of losers. Only capturing some blood slaves, yet some mishap occurred. Yang Qin's expression turned grim. He completely didn't expect such an accident to occur. Originally, he was still waiting for Ji Liang and others to bring back blood slaves and aid him in recovering from injuries. Who could have imagined that until dawn, they hadn't returned? He knew Ji Liang, and the others must have encountered an accident. Otherwise, they wouldn't have failed to return by now. Of course, he wasn't concerned about the life and death of Ji Liang and others, only lamenting their failure to capture blood slaves, which slowed the recovery of his injuries. If his whereabouts are discovered by the Yoon city government, then he'll be utterly doomed. Brother Yang. At this moment, a young figure arrived before Bat King Yang Qin. The person was none other than Li Haoran, a direct descendant of the Li family from Tong County and martial artist of the refining organ realm. Undoubtedly, the Li family and the Red Eyebrow Army had colluded, treacherous sycophants with each other. Initially, the Li family did not wish to have many connections with the Red Eyebrow Army. But unexpected events occur in life. Since leaving Tong County and coming to Yoon City, the Li family immediately faced great peril. The Liu family of Yoon City personally visited, coercing the Li family to join the money gang, becoming one of its halls. To intimidate the Li family, they even killed Li Xian, the patriarch of the Li family. Numerous elders of the Li family were also placed under house arrest by the Liu family. This is the harshness of chaotic times. While the Li family was dominant in Tong County, ruling as overlords with no one daring to provoke them. But in facing the mightier Liu family, they were merely helpless lambs. This is the so-called big fish eating the small shrimp. Originally, the Li family planned to come to Yoon City to avoid tribulation, who knew they would still be swallowed. Moreover, they had no choice but to comply. Thus, Li Haoran became the new patriarch of the Li family and had to humble himself, becoming subservient to the money gang. Yet this also ignited boundless hatred in Li Haoran. For the sake of revenge and liberating from the Liu family's control, he chose to collaborate with the Red Eyebrow Army. Once Yun City is breached, he could not only avenge but also rise to power. "You've come, is there anything?" Seeing Li Haoran's figure, Bat King Yang Qin said flatly, maintaining a degree of distrust towards this collaborator as the person was not a close subordinate. Nonetheless, being in Yun City, the person could be considered a local, and their help was significant. In fact, his successful assassination of Mu Da was closely linked to Li Haoran's assistance. Therefore, he still needed the person's help to pass through this most perilous time. Chapter 78, The Declining Li Family. I have a house in the outer city of Yun City. There's an underground basement just right inside. Currently, the government is investigating Brother Yang. I want Brother Yang to move to that house. That way, even if the government is very powerful, it is impossible to find Brother Yang. Li Haoran said straightforwardly. In fact, that house itself is one of the Li family's properties in Yun City. The basement was built by the Li family over many years. The purpose of it is precisely to seek refuge in critical times. And now it could be used to hide Yang Qin's whereabouts and avoid government pursuit. After all, he certainly didn't want Yang Qin to be exposed. Otherwise, it would definitely implicate himself, as their interests were inherently intertwined. How thoughtful. Once the Red Eyebrow Army breaks through Yun City, you will certainly gain great credit. By then, I will introduce you to the leader, inevitably allowing you to become a general of the Red Eyebrow Army and lead a force. Hearing this, Yang Qin nodded in satisfaction. He originally didn't want to continue staying in this place. After all, he didn't know whether his trusted subordinates were dead or alive. If caught by the enemy and tortured, they might expose his current location. So he had long favored moving to another hiding place and didn't want to stay here anymore. Then thank you, Brother Yang. I'll take you over there right away. Li Haoran was very satisfied. He had done all this just to hear such words from the other party. Because once Yun City was breached, he would inevitably need to join the Red Eyebrow Army. If he could become a general of the Red Eyebrow Army, he would naturally gain immense power. By then, his status in the Red Eyebrow Army would undoubtedly be significant. It's known that he was not the kind who willingly submit to others. Even if he really needed to join the bandit army, he required control, or else why should he join? Before long, the Bat King Yang Qin swiftly transferred his hiding location under Li Haoran's arrangement, arriving at a Li family courtyard and hiding in the basement. After finishing all this, Elder Li Lei, who was once the gang leader of the Dragon King gang and a bone forger realm martial artist, also appeared beside Li Haoran, his face very solemn. Patriarch, this Bat King Yang Qin is not a good person. Cooperating with such people is like seeking skin from a tiger. Li Lei said very worriedly. He always felt that cooperating with the Red Eyebrow Army was not a good thing. With a little carelessness, the Li family could be completely doomed. Then they would die with no burial place. Which forced to cooperate with isn't like seeking skin from a tiger. I would like to cooperate with those noble families of Yun City, but they look down on our Li family. They think our Li family is just a down-and-out landlord. They only want us to be dogs, not to cooperate with us. To force us to be dogs, even my father Li Xian died at their hands. Li Haoran snorted coldly, feeling immensely angry. In the past, when staying in Tong County, the Li family was the local hegemon, often wielding power and oppressing fishermen. Always in the position of the superior. But since being forced to come to Yun City, they were forced to be dogs. Even the patriarch of the Li family was killed, treated as the chicken to terrify the monkeys. This also made him feel unprecedented humiliation. Made him extremely angry, swearing to make these noble families of Yun City pay the price. Let these fellows know that the Li family's anger is not easy to provoke. You're right, cooperating with anyone is like seeking skin from a tiger. Li Lei sighed. He also knew the current predicament of the Li family. Compared to those old families, the Li family was still too weak. Since the fall of ancestor Li Chengying, the Li family has not produced any martial arts grandmaster. Therefore, the power of the Li family was becoming increasingly weak. He originally thought that, after spending so many years, they could finally retrieve the ancestors' legacy. Who could have thought it was taken by someone else? Even now, they cannot ascertain exactly who seized the ancestors' legacy, causing their efforts to fail at the last moment. Undoubtedly, that petty thief is currently the most hated person by the Li family. Lu family is only ranked second. If they had obtained the ancestors' legacy, perhaps Li Haoran would have become a martial arts grandmaster long ago, and wouldn't be subjected to such humiliation today. Bullet. Uncle Lei, don't worry, I will be extremely cautious. Actually, I'm just using this bat King Yang Qin. Now that Grandmaster Mu Do is dead, and Lu Yan, a direct descendant of the Lu family, is also dead, the Lu family is a complete mess. Undoubtedly, I will seize the opportunity to control the whole money gang. By then, I will definitely give the Lu family a bitter taste, letting them know my prowess. Li Haoran, indeed, thought this was a great opportunity to control the money gang. If it weren't for such a chaotic moment, how could he grasp such an opportunity? The so-called wealth is sought amid the peril, and now is precisely that moment. It's good if you're confident. Hearing this, Elder Li Lei felt very satisfied. If they could indeed successfully control the money gang, then the Li family could turn the tables and become the overlord of Yun City. At that time, they could continue to wield power in Yun City, fish and flesh the common people, enjoy endless prosperity, ensuring the Li family wouldn't decline for 1,000 years. 3 days later. Despite the government's carpet search, they still couldn't find any trace of the Bat King Yang Qin. Hence, the actions of Yun City constables became somewhat restrained without the previous fanfare. After all, Yun City's manpower was limited. It wasn't possible to search constantly for Yang Qin's whereabouts. Of course, secretly, they still deployed personnel, continuously trying to locate Yang Qin. They believed the Bat King, Yang Qin, couldn't have left Yun City and must be hiding somewhere within the city. Unfortunately, Yun City was indeed too large. Finding someone deliberately hiding in Yun City was unquestionably like finding a needle in the haystack. The situation is becoming increasingly chaotic. Prices within the city also seem to be becoming unstable. Perhaps it's also necessary to continue purchasing and storing grain. Otherwise, if real chaos breaks out, it might not be possible to buy grain. Jiang Fan had already noticed the undercurrents flowing within Yun City. Don't be fooled by the current appearance as if nothing is happening in Yun City. It's merely the calm before the storm. Once the Red Eyebrow Army attacks, Yun City will certainly face big issues. Not to mention encountering the uprising of disorderly people. The foremost issue is the food problem, which will be a significant concern for countless ordinary people. Indeed, he had previously stored a year or two worth of food in the space ring. The problem was that, after advancing to the refining organ realm, his appetite increased significantly. The rate of food consumption accelerated. If this continues, it won't take long before the stored food is completely consumed. So he felt it necessary to continue buying grain to prepare for the upcoming turmoil. This could be considered a precaution. Chapter 79, forcibly seizing a common woman. Noon, West Street Market outside Yun City. This is considered one of the largest markets in the outer city. A large number of residents come here to buy grain, meat, vegetables, and more. Numerous vendors also come here to sell, making it a bustling place. At this moment, Jiang Fan also arrived here. Of course, before coming to this market, he used the disguise technique, altering his original appearance, transforming into a short old man in gray clothes, looking about 50 or 60 years old. The Great Success Realm disguise technique allowed him to disguise himself in various forms. Perhaps an old person or a middle-aged person, even young people and children were possible. Truly versatile and ever-changing. Ordinary people could never possibly see through his true identity. In the past, flower thief Cao Jun used such a disguise technique to easily escape the government's capture. The reason Jiang Fan used a disguise was purely out of caution. After all, no one knows what might happen at the market or who might target him. In short, he needed to be foolproof. Maybe I can also take the opportunity to buy some food. Jiang Fan's eyes flickered as he pondered his next move. This time coming to the market was not just to obtain a 9th-grade opportunity. He also wanted to purchase a large amount of food before chaos erupted. This way, even if chaos did ensue in the future, he could easily cope without worry. According to the opportunity's hint, the ninth grade opportunity should be on a fish vendor's stall. Jiang Fan pondered the opportunity hint he had received this time and soon arrived at the fish vendor's stall. The stall was densely packed with fish, all caught from Yunmeng Lake, looking extremely fresh. Among them, one fish was very large, weighing at least 20 to 30 pounds. It appeared to be quite expensive, not something ordinary people could afford. Thus, it had been sitting on the stall untouched. Undoubtedly, the ninth grade opportunity was this big fish. And it seemed this big fish was not as simple as it appeared. There might be more to it. He sensed a faint, strange aura emanating from within it, causing the blood and energy in his body to boil. "How much is this fish?" Jiang Fan asked. Upon hearing this, the fish vendor's eyes lit up. Here was a big customer. If he sold this fish, he would earn his month's income. He tentatively quoted a price. Jiang Fan didn't haggle at all and bought it directly. "Great." The fish vendor was overjoyed. This was a jackpot client. If he had quoted a bit more, it would have been better, but he had no intention of backing out, as clients like this were rare. If he really scared the other party away, all his effort would have been in vain. Soon, Jiang Fan had purchased the fish and quickly left the area. Shortly after Jiang Fan left, someone else came to the stall, wanting to buy the big fish, even offering more than double the price. Unfortunately, Jiang Fan had already bought it, and the fish vendor was helpless. When Jiang Fan returned home, he went to the kitchen and cut open the big fish. He found, inside the big fish's belly, a purple treasure fish the size of a palm. Undoubtedly, it was the purple-scaled treasure fish. Every piece of fish meat contained vast, pure energy, comparable to spirit medicine. "Husband, you actually bought back a treasure fish." Su Weiwei widened her beautiful eyes, very surprised. Although her husband had previously caught some treasure fish while fishing in Yunmeng Lake, since coming to Yun City, they shouldn't have had the chance to get treasure fish. Who would have thought her husband was just going to the market to buy food and actually bought back a treasure fish? Unquestionably, they had struck gold. Such a purple-scaled treasure fish sold out would be worth at least 100 taels of silver. And not even money could always buy it. Luck wasn't too bad. Jiang Fan smiled slightly. Since advancing to the refining organ realm, his demand for food has also grown. The most suitable food, naturally, was treasure fish. The problem was, treasure fish were not easy to find. Fortunately, they got the ninth grade opportunity, obtaining a purple-scaled treasure fish. Without a doubt, this treasure fish alone could satisfy his food needs for a while. It could also accelerate his martial Dao cultivation speed. "I'll cook this purple-scaled treasure fish." Su Wai excitedly took the treasure fish to the kitchen and started cooking. She was well acquainted with such matters, having done it several times before. This purple-scaled treasure fish seemed to contain more energy than any previously obtained treasure fish, perhaps due to its older age. This also made Jiang Fan and Su Weiwei feel incredibly invigorated, just like taking some sort of medicine. After being well fed, the two immediately returned to the bedroom, where the blankets rolled and the bed trembled. They had an exceptionally wonderful night. Without a doubt, this greatly enhanced their physical constitution, especially for Su Weiwei, who seemed to have increased her endurance and strength. Compared to before, it was simply incomparable. In the following days, Jiang Fan also changed into different appearances and went to the West Street Market to start purchasing large quantities of grain, pork, chicken, duck, and essentials like firewood, rice, oil, and salt. Enough to meet the needs of Jiang Fan and Su Weiwei for 2 to 3 years. Fortunately, he had an extra storage bag, allowing him to store more food. If it were just a space ring, it would be unable to store so much food. He felt that buying such a large quantity of food was entirely sufficient. Even if Yun City were really to fall into turmoil and be attacked by the Red Eyebrow Army, these supplies would allow survival for quite a long time. Just as Jiang Fan finished buying the grain and was returning home, there was suddenly a commotion on the street. Many people seemed to be watching. As he got closer, he saw a young couple being surrounded by a group of people. Leading the group was a young man in luxurious clothing, looking rich or noble. He had a pale face, a gaudy hat, and a look of arrogance and disdain. His gaze seemed to regard the people around him as mere servants. Undoubtedly, this must be some wealthy playboy. This playboy was accompanied by 3 or 4 guards. Each was strong with powerful blood energy, at least in the strong sinew realm, armed with large blades. They were without a doubt a vicious bunch, killers by nature. Because of these guards, the surrounding people dared not step forward to interfere. "Madam, I am Lu Wenda, the third young master of the Lu family. If you come with me, abandon this useless husband by your side, I'll ensure you a future of wealth and luxury. Endless prosperity and wealth await you." Lu Wenda looked at the young, good-looking woman with greed, like a starving ghost lusting after her. Chapter 80. Possessing a sharp weapon, the killing intent naturally arises. When these words were spoken, Jiang Fan instantly knew what had happened. The descendant of the Lu family, Lu Wenda, had taken a fancy to someone's looks and wanted to abduct the woman. He had only heard of similar things before. He never expected it to appear so directly before him. Lu Wenda is the epitome of a spoiled scion. Such evil, Lu Wenda is out committing sins again. Though a descendant of the Lu family, this guy is idle every day doing nothing. And he indulges in eating, drinking, whoring, and gambling, all vices unchecked. Isn't that right? This guy's specialty is forcing good women into prostitution and abducting women. Any woman he fancies will be snatched away in public and taken back to Lu Mansion, behaving arrogantly to the extreme. If he treats them well after abducting them, that might be tolerable, but he is quick to tire of old favorites. If he loses interest, the abducted women are sold to Beihua building, forced into prostitution, a fate worse than death. No way, such lawlessness, isn't there anyone to stop him? Who dares stop him? He is a descendant of the Lu family, backed by the Lu family, money gang, and other forces. Anyone who tried has already perished. Lu Wenda is one of the 4 scourges of Yun City. People discussed eagerly, revealing Lu Wenda's past actions, all beyond description. But they spoke in whispers, not daring to raise their voices. Afraid that Lu Wenda or his lackeys might hear them and bring disaster upon themselves. The entire Lu family truly is a group of parasites. Jiang Fan's eyes showed a glint of coldness. Previously, Lu Yan tried to falsely accuse someone to gain credit, which showed what kind of upbringing the Lu family had. Even the direct descendants were like this. One can imagine the disposition of the other Lu family members. Perhaps there are a few with conscience in the Lu family, but the vast majority are bound to be ruthless and evildoers. Kill them all, and it's doubtful a few innocent ones could be found. Clearly, this woman too had heard of Lu Wenda's notorious name and was terrified, yet dared not offend him. "Young master, I am already married. Please respect yourself." "Oh, married? Then I'll kill your husband and you'll be a widow. That way, you'll rightly be my concubine," Lu Wenda said matter-of-factly. He couldn't recall how many similar deeds he had done. He especially enjoyed abducting women, often before their husbands. This gave him a special thrill. "What?" These words made the young couple's faces grow ashen. They never thought Lu Wenda's madness could reach such extremes. It's lawless. Lu Wenda, as a Lu family descendant from a renowned noble family. How dare you commit such illegal acts? Aren't you afraid of bringing shame upon the Lu family? The young man was both shocked and furious. He tried to reason with him. Though he knew his efforts might be futile, he couldn't bear to see his wife taken away by others. Illegal acts? What nonsense are you talking about? In Yun City, my Lu family is the law and the heavens. Defying my Lu family is illegal. How dare you, a mere commoner, shout at me? Arrest him, take him to Lu Mansion. I want him torn to pieces by vicious dogs. Lu Wenda sneered, barely regarding the commoner. With the Lu family backing him, he believed he was the law in Yun City, invincible. With a command, countless lives could be claimed. Yes. Instantly, several guards stepped forward, striking the young man down with a punch, breaking his nose, covering his face in blood as he writhed in agony. The young woman collapsed in terror, nearly fainting. Seeing this, the crowd showed looks of sympathy. The couple was merely walking down the street. Encountering Lu Wenda, they faced calamity, a disaster from the heavens. Lu Wenda's deeds were heinous beyond words. Yet no one could punish him. The crowd was powerless. The Lu family's power in Yun City was intimidating. No one dared provoke them. Offending the Lu family meant being unable to make a living in Yun City. I truly can't tolerate this a bit longer. Jiang Fan's eyes showed a cold gleam. He thought to mind his own business, not meddling in others' affairs. This matter wasn't his concern. Given the countless tragedies in this world, he couldn't care for them all. But Lu Wenda's tyranny had crossed the line. It had disrupted his peace. In the past, he was just an average fisherman, powerless against such events. But now, he was a martial artist in the refining organ realm. In Yun City, he was a top fighter. The saying goes, possessing weapons breeds a murderous heart. If he didn't kill Lu Wenda, his thoughts wouldn't be clear. For no other reason, he merely wanted release. Show the noble families that ordinary people too have wrath. If they dared cross the line, the noble families would face extinction. With this thought, Jiang Fan's mind moved, fetching some stones from his space ring. These stones were stored as weapons for critical moments. It seemed they finally served their purpose. Swish! Instantly, he grabbed a stone and hurled it fiercely at Lu Wenda. Although he wasn't proficient with concealed weapons, his sword Dao realm had reached the micro level. He could perfectly control all the strength in his body. The saying goes, understanding one thing leads to comprehending many. Martial Dao likewise follows this principle. Even with a stone in hand, he could hit his target with precision. In the next second, the stone, augmented by a force of 1,000 caddies, shot towards Lu Wenda like a bullet. Thunk! Lu Wenda's face twisted with malice, imagining capturing the woman and bringing her home, tormenting her with varied techniques, relishing her misery. This fulfilled his perverted desires. After all, she was merely a commoner, incapable of defying him. Being a Lu family descendant, who would dare confront him? But at that moment, a stone struck, smashing directly into his head. Suddenly, his head couldn't withstand such immense impact, exploding like a watermelon, turning into a mess of flesh, leaving a headless corpse. A pool of blood spread across the ground, staining the earth red. With just one blow, Lu Wenda's head exploded, killing him instantly without a chance to struggle. Chapter 81. Chapter 81. Killing the noble family's henchman, obtaining the 7th grade opportunity. What? The 4 Lu family guards who were initially enjoying the show suddenly became stunned. They stared blankly at the headless corpse of Lu Wenda, the pool of blood on the ground, and the heap of flesh. At this moment, they felt their whole bodies trembling uncontrollably, their eyes full of shock. Their master Lu Wenda, a direct descendant of the Lu family, is dead just like that. What kind of joke is this? Who exactly is behind the assassination of Lu Wenda? Don't they know the terrifying wrath of the Lu family after Lu Wenda's death? Who would dare to be so audacious? This Lu Wenda is dead. The young couple, along with the crowd watching, were also stunned, completely not expecting such an event, as it was too inconceivable. After all, Lu Wenda was a scourge of Yun City, having done countless heinous deeds. Because of the Lu family's backing, no one dared to provoke them until today. They could only allow them to act as they pleased. In the foreseeable future, Lu Wenda would continue to evade justice, with no one daring to confront him. But who would have thought Lu Wenda would be killed just like that, with his head blown to bits, literally dead without a complete body? Nonetheless, deep in their hearts, a feeling of satisfaction emerged. Lu Wenda committed numerous evil acts over the years, and finally, someone could deal with him, as if heaven had opened its eyes. Who killed Lu Wenda? Deep in their hearts, everyone was full of doubts, guessing who the real killer might be. Jiang Fan's strike was too fast for anyone on site to witness. More importantly, the effect of the soaring snake technique. After cultivating to the refining organ realm, this technique helped him restrain his own energy, reducing his presence. Thus, he blended into the crowd, like a drop of water into the ocean. Others naturally ignored his existence. Thus, he remained completely unnoticed. No one on site knew who exactly it was that had struck and killed Lu Wenda. Lockdown. Immediately blockade the street. The killer must not be allowed to escape. How dare you kill a direct descendant of the Lu family? Do you want to annihilate 9 generations of your family? Also, for those present, none of you should try to run. All must serve as a burial company for the young master. One of the guards roared furiously, almost uncontrollably angry. For if this incident reached the Lu family, as Lu Wenda's guards, they would be the first to be targeted. Perhaps they would be severely punished by the Lu family, or even executed. So he must catch the killer to avenge Lu Wenda. You're right, all of you stand in place, don't move an inch. Otherwise, you'll be treated as the killer and executed without mercy." Another guard shouted loudly, intending to immediately control the scene to prevent the killer from escaping at the earliest opportunity. That way, the elite of the Liu family, along with the elite of the government, would receive news and hurry here. Upon hearing this, the surrounding spectators were shocked and angry. They were merely watching the scene and didn't expect to encounter such unprovoked disaster, seemingly trying to involve them in the matter. Undoubtedly, this was the domineering way of the Liu family, who never reasoned with ordinary people. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. But as soon as the words were spoken, 4 rocks came flying through the air, like bullets, moving at an unbelievable speed, all aimed at the 4 Liu family guards, containing terrifying killing intent. "It's over." The 4 Liu family guards were scared, feeling this terrifying killing intent. Even as strong sinew realm martial artists, they had no power to counter this dreadful strike. They never imagined that the hidden killer would want to strike on them as well, attempting to eliminate them completely. Now they regretted deeply. If they had known the killer was such a terrifying expert, they would never have dared to shout like this. But now it's too late to say anything. Bang! Instantly, the 4 Liu family guards also had their heads blasted apart, like watermelons completely shattered, leaving 4 headless corpses on the street with blood everywhere. In just a moment, these 4 were killed on the spot. Choosing to be the Liu family's dogs, they too must die. Jiang Fan's eyes showed a trace of cold light. These 4 were truly ignorant, daring to threaten him even at death's door, as if he wouldn't dare to kill. Since they were so loyal, they must die alongside Liu Wenda. Anyway, these 4 were indeed accomplices. If it weren't for these guards' help, Liu Wenda wouldn't have been able to commit so many evil deeds in Yun City. One could say that none of these 4 were innocent. Dead, Liu Wenda's 4 dogs are dead too. As if heaven opened its eyes, finally someone took action to kill them. Retribution. This is the retribution for committing so many evil deeds. Many people cried tears of joy, excited beyond measure. After all, Liu Wenda had committed evil acts for many years in Yun City, with countless people holding grudges against him. But previously, fearing the power of the Liu family, no one dared to retaliate. But now, seeing Liu Wenda and others assassinated, they felt immensely pleased. An overwhelming sense of revenge fulfilled. "Stop fussing, we must leave quickly. Liu Wenda is dead, the Liu family will surely become enraged. If we continue to stay here, we might be implicated. The wrath of the Liu family is beyond what we can bear." Chapter 82, Chapter 81, Killing the Noble Family's Henchmen, Obtaining the 7th Grade Opportunity /2. Someone shouted loudly, urging the onlookers to quickly leave and not stay where they were. The death of a scourge in Yun City is indeed a great thing. However, this shouldn't lead to harm for the nearby people. After all, Liu Wenda is dead, but the Liu family hasn't perished. The other side still holds sway over Yun City. Upon hearing this, the surrounding crowd agreed deeply, and without a word they quickly left. Even the young couple did the same. They knew it was not wise to stay here for long. Only by swiftly leaving this place, leaving Yun City, could they continue to live. Moreover, Liu Wenda and the others died so quickly, no one could predict it. So even if the Liu family wants to find out about Liu Wenda and others' deaths, it will take some time. As long as there is a time gap, there is an opportunity to escape. Exactly. Seeing this scene, Jiang Fan felt quite satisfied. That young couple wasn't foolish, they knew to run. If they were scared silly standing there, they would be beyond saving. He killed Liu Wenda and others just to clear his mind. As for the future fate of that young couple, it doesn't concern him much. After all, he has done his duty. Whoosh! Thinking of this, Jiang Fan didn't hesitate anymore, following the crowd, silently leaving the place. Meanwhile, he used the soaring snake technique to lower his presence. Without anyone noticing, he quietly returned home. Boom tilde tilde. Just as he returned home, a message came from deep within his sea of consciousness. You secretly killed Liu Wenda and others, prematurely overcoming a deadly tribulation, gaining 200 luck points and a 7th grade opportunity. What? Perceiving this message, Jiang Fan was immediately delighted. He did these things only to clear his mind, purely because he didn't like Liu Wenda. But who would have thought unintentional actions could have such results? What he did actually counted as passing a deadly tribulation. Without a doubt, if he hadn't settled Lu Wenda in advance, Lu Wenda might have caused him a lot of trouble in the future. Now that he did it early, he prevented problems before they arose. Along with these 200 luck points, he now possessed a total of 860 luck points. Being close to 1,000 luck points, it's just a step away. So if I gain some more luck points, I can become a martial arts grandmaster. Jiang Fan clenched his fists, feeling very excited. Although his refining organ realm strength is quite impressive, could fully assure his safety, not many in Yun City could compare to his existence. But even so, it's not enough at all. If the enemy is numerous and powerful, and a large number of martial artists attack, he still can't withstand them. Only by becoming a martial arts grandmaster, mastering formidable power, can he fight against a multitude. In the midst of a large army, he could come and go as he pleased, unscathed. But the more important gain, this time, is still the 7th grade opportunity. Jiang Fan squinted his eyes. He felt that the 7th grade opportunity is his real gain. The previous 7th grade opportunity had already brought him great benefits. Thinking of this with a thought, he lightly clicked on the light point of opportunity deep in his sea of consciousness. Boom tilde tilde. A stream of information flooded into the depths of his sea of consciousness like a tide. 15 days later, at midnight, go to the outer city of Yun City, East 5th Street, Li family's outer mansion basement to obtain the 7th grade opportunity. Need to wait for 15 days. What on earth is this for? Could it be that this 7th grade opportunity is on some person? Can it only be obtained after 15 days? Jiang Fan rubbed his chin, feeling very curious. But regardless of what, the direction of the opportunity must be correct, as if it sees through the fog of fate. So he's not in a hurry. He can wait 15 days, then it'll be enough. Right now he's eagerly anticipating what exactly that 7th grade opportunity is. At the same time, in the inner city of Yun City, Lu family mansion. The Lu family patriarch Lu Kai wore a very ugly expression. He already knew his son Lu Wenda was killed in the streets, his head smashed, truly died without a whole body. Undoubtedly, the Lu family had been very unlucky lately. Many important members had already died. First, the eldest son Lu Yan died. Now the younger son Lu Wenda also died. He felt the shadow of death seemed to shroud every corner of the Lu family. If he wasn't careful, the Lu family might be annihilated, completely vanishing from this world. So now no matter what he does, he walks on thin ice. Even if he's now burning with anger, he can only endure it temporarily. Patriarch. The cause of Lu Wenda's death has been clarified. The murderer used a concealed weapon, hiding in the dark, ambushed and killed Lu Wenda and others. But because there were too many people on site, it's impossible to find the murderer. As for that young couple who caused the trouble, they have already taken the chance to escape Yun City. Should we send someone to hunt them down? An elder of the Lu family said in a deep voice. Although he didn't care much about Lu Wenda's death, Lu Wenda was still the son of the patriarch and a member of the Lu family. He absolutely can't die so inexplicably. The murderer must pay a heavy price. Otherwise, wouldn't that mean anyone could strike against the Lu family? No need. I suspect this is a trap against our Lu family. First it was Grandmaster Muda's death. Now it's my son, Lu Wenda's turn.